What's good, everybody? Happy Monday. I hope everybody's having a good day today, y'all. My day is going good. I cannot complain. Let me see something real quick. Hold on. Let me check something. Make sure. Let me see. Y'all can hear me correctly. Let me know if y'all can hear me. Okay? Y'all should be able to hear me. Okay? We are here today to talk about the Married to Medicine, season 12, episode 16. And the name of the episode is called Reunion Part 2. Okay? Now, this was a good reunion. This was a good reunion. It was only 2 parts. I feel like there was a lot of things that we could have, there were a little more things that we could have talked about, but I must say that this was one of the best reunions that I've seen on Bravo in a very long time. I really do think that this was one of the best reunions that we've seen in a very long time. And I don't, Toya still reigns supreme. Toya still reigns supreme. And this is the thing for me that I don't understand. I get that you don't like nobody. But for me, I will never lie on somebody or make it seem like I didn't see something just because I don't like a particular person. I am a person who, whether I like you or not, I'm going to call you out. And I just can't stand for it just because you don't like nobody, you can't answer a simple question. I don't like it and I don't respect it. Okay. But it was a good reunion. And we got to talk about it. Okay. But before we get started, let's see who all in here and we're going to talk about it. And if I got enough time, if I get through, which is I probably won't, but if I get through before an hour and 15 minutes, I'm going to drop the link and we can come up one by one to talk about it. Okay. But let's see who all up in here. Okay. Let me see. The Informed, what's good? I'm glad Mimi is in therapy, but Stephanie showed her entire behind. She tried. Sweat Canal, what's good, baby? This is the highlight of my Monday. I've been telling my daughter, let me see if Gabor is live. Oh, thank you so much. Salute to Gabor and the Alley Cats. What's good? Laura B, what's good? Happy Monday. Hope everyone is having a good week. I hope y'all do have a good week too. Tiffany, what's good? I can't wait. Rosie Posey, what's good? Happy Monday. Part 2 was boring. Print Fires. Print, what do you want the people to do? What do you want the people to do? Print Part 2 was good. I think that you know what it is, Print Fires. I think that the people don't think that Part 2 was good because Stephanie flopped. It was a chop. It was a chop for me. She joined the wrong family. She on the wrong team. Nita was good. Rob J was good. I feel like they played in our faces with this 2-part reunion. Glad it's over. What did you, Rob J, explain to me what you mean by that. Why do you mean they played in our face? Jamil was good. Heaven help us, baby. She can't help nothing. She can't even help a child, baby. Her husband don't even trust her to help a child. She gonna help. True Blue, what's good? Can't wait for the gossip. YDKO, what's good? Linda Marshall, what's good? Just bring back Mariah. Right. This was a snooze fest. Really? Y'all thought it was a snooze fest? What do y'all want? Talk about underwhelming Part 2. Steve had Eugene Bush running. Oh, is that what happened, Richie? We'll talk about it. You right. I ain't gonna lie. You know I'm fair. I do feel like he had him running. Part 8 Capricorn, what's good? Like this video before I forget. Like the video, y'all. Please hype the video, y'all. All that good stuff. Share the video. S12, what's good? Tell me what, Gabor. I didn't get to watch it. Okay, I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna give you the real. I'm gonna give you the real, just like it played out on TV. Miss Lovely T, what's good? Mellow Mimi Kitty, what's good? Sydney Dennis, what's good? Part 8 Capricorn, what's good? I heard Eugene held his own while Stunner Steve and Christian Curtis were unhinged. They were, and Eugene did hold his own. And he held his own, and I thought that he did a damn good job. C. Patterson, what's good? Erica the Arthur, what's good? Go Yo Coco, what's good? Steviana can go. I was totally turned off by his behavior. Please, Curtis Ho. Please go on too. Right. It's silly. Quad in her masterpiece theater. I love it. But if I must say, Linda Marshall, Quad was the kind of afterthought at this reunion, especially at the Part 2. She wasn't there. It was the Toya show. It was the Toya, Eugene, and Steve show because Mimi wasn't even really there. She wasn't. Yvette Khan, what's good? Miss Bella, what's good? At a reunion, you're supposed to get yourself involved in the things, baby. At the reunion, you're supposed to get yourself involved in things. It ain't gonna be, if I'm at a reunion, it ain't gonna be no conversation that go on without me giving my input in it. It's gonna be hard for them to cut me out. Mercy, what's good? Hey, my favorite grandson, what's good? Make Nana laugh. I will. I'm proud of Eugene. Right. Eugene was laughing at Stevie's face. Yes, he was, but he did get the running, and I didn't like that. But I just got to be real about it, okay? But again, y'all, we at the 5-minute mark. So again, we are here to talk about the Real Married to Medicine, season 12, episode 16, reunion part 2. And I want to say this, bravo, y'all really need to start giving Married to Medicine their things. You know, I wasn't pleased with Stevie's behavior. I wasn't pleased with Curtis's behavior or Heavenly's behavior, but it did make for a good reunion. I was thoroughly entertained throughout the reunion. I really do think that it was a good reunion. Thank you for the super chat. The Truth 5717. That's what I'm gonna start calling myself. Truth. Steve was out here acting like little Stevie. Oh my God, not on him. Okay? And Eugene treated him like that. Listen, if you're sensitively, because we got a lot of stuff that we got to talk about. It got a lot of stuff we got to talk about. Love their medical MO. What's good? Oh, their medical moment. Okay, yeah, I get what you're saying. I didn't like part 2. Why not? Why not? 2-part reunions, all they need, period. It was good. Right. That's all they need, but mouth at the top. They don't need 3-part reunions. And Andy had the nerve to give us a 4-part reunion one time. 4 parts? Steve wanted to be a wife or girlfriend. I told you. Steve is securing them next season. But S12, he flopped, baby. He flopped. Yes, it was a chop, baby. If he was in the boardroom scene, baby, he would have flopped. It would have been a chop, baby. It would have been a chop. Mrs. D. Green, what's good? What's good, my love? I haven't watched this season, but I've been keeping up, and I can't wait to hear your insight on the reunion. As for Eugene, he's what a husband should be, and it's just foreign for some. Listen, it is foreign for some. That's why Contessa got a hard time. It's foreign for some. Thank you for the super chat, Mrs. D. Green. Okay, so the episode started off with Simone. Okay, Simone and Jackie. I like Simone. I really like all of the women. I really like all of the women except for Mimi and Steve. Okay, but with Simone specifically, I feel like Simone does all this yelling and posturing by making posts online or unfriending people online, all for her forgive them or forgive the person in the end, and they will continue to do the same things to her, right? She never stands on anything. Cecil knows it, the boys know it, and Jackie knows it. She never stands on anything. And you have to stand on something, Simone. You can't just let people keep on continue to play with you. And when they continue to play with you, all they got to do is come in your face and apologize and get the crying. You got to let it go, baby. Childish. You think one word, childish. What's good, She-Rise? New subscriber the first time. Oh, thank you so much, She-Rise. I appreciate it. Thank you for being here. Welcome. Simone is super sensitive and she's a softie. Right. It's because she's a Pisces. Is she a Pisces? My mama a Pisces. I don't really know the traits. I only know the Cancer and Gemini traits, but everything else I don't really know. Well, my cousin, my favorite cousin, she's a Libra, and I know that the Libra scale can go up and down. But other than that, I don't really know. Okay? They make up 2 cookies for me, but they say that's the part of the game. Okay? To me, Jackie is not a friend. Jackie is not a friend. All Jackie had to do on Watch What Happens Live was answer the questions. Right? We all know that Heavenly is a fan favorite, and you cannot like Simone. However, the question that was asked was, did Simone push Heavenly? She didn't, and that should have been the answer. The line moves. When we can't just say that Simone didn't push Heavenly when we have to say, well, I didn't agree with her behavior. That wasn't the question, baby.
The line is always moving.
That's not the question, baby. The question was, did Simone push Heavenly? And she did not. Okay? Now notice as Jackie and Simone are talking, Heavenly is moving the line again, and she is deflecting from saying that she pushed her, and she's pushing now she's saying that she wants Simone to take accountability for what she did, screaming at her, and it was uncalled for. I told y'all that Heavenly was late. Heavenly is late. Instead of her, saying, oh, yeah, she didn't push me like that, now she's trying to say, well, she needs to be held accountable for screaming at me. It was uncalled for. No, baby. I told you to get your hands off me. And you started taking digs at my son. I'm sorry your household is what it is. I'm sorry your household is lacking what it's supposed to be now. Have you heard from your son? Thank you for the super chat, Black Girl. QK2HG. She said, get rid of big head Steve thinking he fine and Toya want him. Baby, the nerve. The nerve. The nerve. Okay? Then we get Andy. Simone and Jackie ended up hugging it out, saying that they love each other and stuff like that. Andy is over there happy, talking about praise them. Then he went on to ask the women, one by one, did Simone push Heavenly? And all of them, one by one, agreed that Simone did not push Heavenly, essentially making Heavenly look like a complete liar. He made Heavenly look like a complete liar. They never even had to utter the words that she was a liar. He made her look like a complete liar by asking every woman on stage one by one. And I just do not think, because that's what she did. She lied. She lied, right? And she always lies. It's nothing new. She always lies. But I don't think that this is a good look for someone who is running for office. Okay? Then Contessa, she said this is such a blaring conversation, and she's trying to mix the word Black Karen. Who came up with this, Contessa? Contessa always have all of these lame sayings. I forgot the saying that she said earlier during the season, and I just thought that it was so lame for her to use. But you don't have to blend the names together. You can just say Black Karen, or you could just say, Tiffany or Lakeisha, or something like. Well, shout out to Mariah. Mariah. I don't know if y'all know Mariah. Her real name is Lakeisha. Right? You could just say Black Karen or Lakeisha or something like that instead of trying to mix the two words together. I just thought that was lame. Okay? But Contessa brings up the fact that Heavenly always starts shit and she ends up calling for security. Okay? And Heavenly says that she only calls security for Contessa and she wouldn't have to call security for anybody else on the stage. And Heavenly kept saying that she's scared of Contessa, but she'll whoop Simone. And Andy brings up, girl, it's not a good look to say that you was physically threatened by Simone. And then for you to sit up there and say, you'll whoop her ass. Contessa, Heavenly is just lame. She's just lame to me. You call them Britney's, what we gonna call them? Carisha? Carisha, that's P. Diddy. Carisha is hilarious. Britney, I don't know a lot about the name Brittany. I just know mostly all the Britneys that I know, they got a sister named Tiffany. That's all I know. Most Britneys that I know, they got a sister named Tiffany. I don't know. I grew up with thinking that those names went together. Thank you for the super chat, The Truth 5717. She said, I told you last week Steve was going to say Toya wanted him and you kept saying it was only King. She made the remark about Steve is a raging narcissist. I didn't see the clip. Right, and Andy didn't enjoy it heavily this season. I don't know, he did not. Andy is not liking heavily. No, he did not. He is not. But I think that he kind of scared of Damon a little bit. Call her Qualandria. They are all liars. Qualandria. And I never heard of that before either. Okay. Now we get to the men. Okay. The men are backstage, and Curtis is telling Eugene, in this group, the men talk about not letting themselves get caught up in what their wives do. But Toya has perpetuated a lie. She got on national TV and she said that Curtis put his hands on her and other women. And then he went on to say that Toya said that other women have came to her and said that he has put his hands on them.
Bald-headed lies.
You a bald-headed lie. Curtis is lying. See, you have to be very careful. Because people will tell a story and then add something in there that's not true to try to discredit everything that it, you know what I'm saying? And that's what he tried to do. Toya's exact words were that Curtis has his hands on a lot of different women's waists on our show, okay? Me being one of them, and he needs to keep his hands to himself. And she was actually telling the truth. Every time they show it, they roll that beautiful beam footage, and we actually see. We see her saying exactly what I just said because I wrote it down as she said it. Okay? We see him with his hands grabbing Toya's waist, and then we see him with his hand on Heavenly waist. She did not say that women have came to her and said that he put his hands on them. She did not say that. She didn't say that. Thank you for the super chat, CW. She said the dentist blatantly lies like how they believe Amanda from Real Housewives of Beverly Hills did. LOL, yeah. They did. Thank you for the super chat, CW. I appreciate it. Okay. Eugene is saying, I don't know what anyone else told her because she never said it. She never said it. But Curtis says that Eugene agreed to it. He didn't agree to it because she never said it. And Steve is over there saying, that's convenient. That's convenient. That's convenient.
You better get on the right team, sweetheart. You riding with the wrong team. You riding with the wrong team.
You riding with the wrong team, Steve. You riding with the wrong team. You went over there and tried to join the house of Jackie and Curtis. What's their last name? Walters? You trying to join the house of Walters in the house of Combs. You riding with the wrong team. That's why you chopped. That's why you were chopped. You mean to tell me that Steve has so much hate for Toya and Eugene that there is actual footage of Curtis with his hands on Toya's waist? A picture with his hands on Heavenly's waist. We've seen it. And Steve is sitting in defense of Curtis? And y'all are trying to act like it didn't happen? Are you serious? Anyone who can sit in your face and lie with proof showing you otherwise is a very dangerous person. They are very dangerous people. And I find it very convenient that the men pride themselves in not getting into the women's business or letting it affect them while literally getting into the women's business. That whole narrative of not getting into the women's business is bullshit. Now, I could be wrong, but the only men who I have not seen get into the women's business or let it affect them was Cecil and Scott. When Heavenly said the thing that she said about Scott being an abusive husband, the last time they came back on the show, he brushed it off and he never brought it up. The same thing with Cecil. Simone was offended about the stuff that Heavenly was saying online, right? And it started a beef between Heavenly and Simone, but I don't ever remember Cecil being upset about it where he had to confront Damon about it or he had to confront Heavenly about it, right? Curtis has been into it. Damon have been into it with Dr. G behind. You know what I'm saying? They have gotten into it behind it, and now Steve is into it. They have all gotten into the women's business or let it affect their relationship with each other. So Eugene had a point earlier in the season when he said that if people speak on Damon's family like that, he wouldn't like it. But when he speaks up, when Eugene says something, all of a sudden he's a bitch. But Curtis is not a bitch. Damon is not a bitch. Steve is not a bitch. It's not about talking to the women. It's about going to the men and addressing them with it. And that's what Eugene did. It's manipulation because they want Heavenly to be able to get away with whatever she wanted. You know what I'm saying? It's manipulation. The men don't get into it. And you're literally addressing what Toya said on the show. You talked about what Toya said on the show. But y'all never, when Dr. G was called a pedophile on Twitter, y'all all get, the only person who stood behind Dr. G was Eugene. Everybody else act like he was doing too much. Everybody else act like he was doing too much. Okay? And all I got to say is this. The line moves when it comes to y'all favorites. I've seen it on Twitter last week and this week. The line keeps moving. Because y'all are now saying that if Steve is a bitch for getting into the women's business, then so is Eugene.
No.
You don't get to switch it up. If you call Eugene a bitch for getting into the women's business, then you need to call Steve a bitch. But since y'all like Steve and y'all don't like Eugene, you are hesitant to call Steve a bitch. Right? So now you want to reframe it. So now we got to reframe it because we don't want to call Steve a bitch and you got to reshape what you're saying. No, baby. If Eugene was a bitch and he was getting into women's business, then that's exactly what Steve is doing. That's exactly what Steve is doing, okay? So they get back to the stage with the women and Andy asked them about what health trends from social media makes you want to scream into the void, okay? They said that people don't want you to do certain things to their baby. I know for me, I remember when, I will never forget when Ace Hood told his story about his son on The Breakfast Club. That was when I used to watch Breakfast Club religiously. And I remember Ace Hood was on there and he said that he paid attention to his son and he watched his son before he got vaccinated, and then not the COVID vaccination. This was like 2016 or 2017. But he said that he paid attention to his son, and he got his son. He had to get his shots, and he got vaccinated, and he watched his son before and after, and he believed that vaccination made his son autistic. He said that he noticed his changes in his son after he got his son vaccinated, and I believed him, and I still do believe him. I think that we don't know. Yeah, we love medicine, or we trust medicine, but we don't know how medicine can affect everybody individually, right? And so I think that it's possible that could have happened to his son, especially if he said it. But it's easy for people to write it off when it hasn't affected your family or you haven't seen it yourself, right? There could be studies coming out years from now that shows, if the right person, said it, people will believe it more. Stop GGABOR, vaccinations do not make babies autistic. I'm not saying that it make every baby autistic. So don't switch up my words. What I'm saying is, when the man said what he said about his child, I believed him. Yeah, vaccinations are such a taboo subject. People don't like when you question them. Right. But I'm not talking about everybody individually. There are some things that work for everybody. There are some medicines that work for everybody, and it's one person out of 100 people. It can work for 100 people, and they won't get no side effects, and this one person can. So who are y'all to say? Who is it to say that this vaccination didn't do this to his child? That sounds stupid. Nothing is 100%. That's all I'm saying. It's nothing is 100%, and it could have affected his child. Okay, that's what I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. Okay. Then they go to talk about black doctors and how the cuts in DEI and the education department affect doctors of color. Simone said that she would not be able to sit there on that stage if she wasn't able to receive the Pell Grants and other types of aid that require her to pay it back. I remember I told y'all before, I had no idea the type of aid that was out there. I am the oldest child, grandchild, nephew, cousin. I'm the oldest. And so I got away with a lot, but I also did not know a lot. Nobody in my family went to college, right? So I had no idea about financial aid or anything like that. I got accepted into UT, and I went to Longhorn for a day. And once I saw the pamphlet for just to live on campus, I was like, my mama them can't afford this. We do all right, but I don't think that they'll be able to, because to stay at the college for a semester, to stay there for a semester was more than I would rent. You know what I'm saying? So there's no way. And I remember the woman telling me, yeah, you can't afford it. And I'm just thinking to myself, no. Because I think to myself, when people be like, they ain't got no money, they got like $1 million here. You know what I'm saying? We ain't got that, okay? But if I knew the options that we had, I probably would have had my ass at UT or Howard. If I knew that. But my mom is a very, we good, we don't need nobody else. You know what I'm saying? She that type of person. But I really wish that I would have knew or had an older cousin or just a friend or something like that could have told me and warned me about the options that I had with my education. Thank you for the super chat, Big L88. She say, I'm late, GGABOR. Please give me and Miss Stevie together. Of course. But I'm gonna be fair though. Okay. So contestant said if they're not showing you any preference, you may get the acceptance letter, but you may not get the funding, right? And what does the acceptance letters mean when you don't have the money to go? And that's why I want to give a special shout out to Toya for wanting to give the money this year for the Med Gala to the future doctors. Salute. Give it up. Okay. He touched on how it was recently deemed that nurses are not seen as a medical profession anymore. And then they talked about Alex Preddy, the nurse, being killed during the ICE protest in Minnesota. And Heavenly said, because a white man died, we can all go. We thought that he had privilege. Well, Heavenly, he did have privilege, baby. He was just on the wrong team. The privilege was just him being able to be out there, or him being able to stand up in front of the police without, the privilege was him just being able to stand up there right in front of them the way that he was standing up there. That was the privilege right there, baby. Just because he got shot, and you know, and my heart goes out to him. I saw the video; it was sad. But I knew with my black ass when George Floyd got killed and LA was on lockdown, we had a curfew and stuff like that. I knew that my big, tall, black 6'6" ass had not been out there because you know what I'm saying. Listen, please. And you think I'm gonna be out there letting nobody hit me with a rubber bullet? I shoot back. If you hit me, I hit back. Even kids, if they get to hit on me too hard, I hit them back. My cousin, I sister, baby, she's a big girl, baby, and she hit hard, baby. And girl, she don't know her own strength. You know what I'm saying? But you know, the privilege was him just being out there. But you know, Heavenly is trying to speak a certain type of way. You know what I'm saying? It just wasn't for me. Okay. They talked about the period poverty. I didn't know it was such thing as period poverty. But I do see a lot of stuff online where teachers and stuff, you know, nowadays the social media influencers are the teachers and stuff nowadays, child. But they have everything that they have online, and I love that some of the women have, you know, stations in the classroom where some of the kids, they, you know, maybe they didn't brush their teeth or had no toothpaste or something at home. They go get a toothpaste, toothbrush. They be having wet wipes for the kids. They be having pads and stuff for the girls. You know, you don't have to ask for nothing. You could just go and get it. You can get it privately and go to the restroom and do what you need to do and help yourself out. So I do love that. They talked about Black women being the leading deaths in women who die from breast cancer, cervical cancer, and colon cancer, and the spike in HIV amongst Black women. And they urged everyone who is sexually active to get on PrEP. Okay. I can't tell you how many Black women that I've met that I know who really don't feel like they need to worry about HIV. They don't think they need to worry about HIV. Even with some friends that I know who boyfriends went to jail for a period of time, I'd be like, oh, you gonna go get them? You know, y'all gonna go get tested? And they'd be like, no. I'm like, oh, wow. Okay. They just don't think that they don't think that they need to worry about it. I'm like, okay. Okay. Then we get back to the husbands and Steve. Okay. Now, before the men was seated, Simone and Qua was backstage, and Simone said that she was having flashbacks. Okay. Now they show the flashback, and last year they were arguing backstage, right? But Qua, as they was arguing, Qua is the one who walked up towards Simone. And then Simone got out of her seat. And y'all are literally blaming everything on Simone, saying that she was the one that was unhinged. Tell me that you got your ass whooped all your life without telling me that you got your ass whooped all your life. If I'm arguing with anybody and they walk towards me, I'm getting up. If I'm arguing with anybody and they walk towards me, I'm getting up. I don't give a damn if the door is behind me. I'm getting up. I'm getting up. It could have been my mama. I'm still getting up. I'm not about to let nobody walk towards me and I don't do nothing. I'm still going to be sitting down. Do you remember what happened with Althea? Because, you know what I'm saying? If anybody walks towards me and I'm getting ready to get into a fight, baby, I'm getting up. Or if I'm just arguing with somebody, I'm getting up. That does not make her the aggressor. And my thing, I grew up, my uncle said, you never know what another person gonna do. You can't say, I know they're not gonna do this to me. You get what I'm saying? Because you never know what another person can do to you. But you do have control over what you can do. Okay? I also see and understand why when a fight or argument is taking place and a person is being escorted from the room, I do understand why that person always gets upset, because when you escort them out the room, it makes them seem like that they are the aggressor. You get what I'm saying? And so I understand. Thank you for the super chat, Q. He said, where in the clip did Bunny jump the couch? She didn't jump the couch. She didn't jump the couch. She jumped off the couch when Quad started coming her way, but she didn't jump off the couch. She didn't. Quad is full of theatrics. Yes, she is. I love him sometime, though. What's good, JW? Right, I don't know. That thing is loose, bumpy, oozy. Oh, okay. Althea thought security was going to protect her. But baby, security, this girl is on the stage with you. How is security going to beat her to you? And she on the stage with you. She got a head start to you. She got a head start to you. Okay? Now, for me, most of the men look nice. If I had to pick a top three, it would be Scott would be number one. I thought that Scott looked really, really, his outfit looked really, really handsome. I mean, his outfit looked really, really nice. And then Cecil, and then Damon. I really like the vest that Damon had on under his blazer. The only thing that I wish is that he would have had another color besides the white shirt underneath it. Maybe all black like Eugene, but I do think that his vest underneath his blazer was really, really nice. And I really want Cecil to get his stomach checked. And I've been saying that for years, y'all. I'm really worried about Cecil, his stomach and the way that it hangs low like that or whatever. I really want Cecil to go get his. Are y'all seeing Cecil's stomach? Am I tripping? Put a 5 in the chat if you noticing it. Something I'm worried about Cecil and his stomach. The way his stomach hangs really, really low and it's heavy. I'm really worried about him. He needs to go get that stomach checked, y'all. He really do. Cecil is drinking too much. No, I missed it. Something is wrong with his stomach, y'all. I'm telling you. It's the liquor. It hides you like that. Beer belly. Cecil has a drinker's belly. Oh no. Cecil's stomach has been big. Alcohol. I need to go back and look. That's a hell of a big stomach on him. Now, no, I'm not saying. You noticed it a while back too. Yeah, all that liquor. He got to let that go, baby. Maybe. Yeah, I think it's digestive issues. I don't think it's all that liquor now. But now I didn't say that. Mark my words. I didn't say that Scott or Damon look good. Now I said that they outfit look good. That's what I said. I like the vest that old boy had on. I like the vest that you know that Daddy had on. But he didn't look good, baby. Black ass raccoon eyes and shit. No God. Okay. And so Andy started his bullshit. He asked Eugene, "Are you gonna be a leader today?" Baby, are you gonna, baby? Andy was on this bullshit today, baby, with the men, baby. Andy say, Albert, I say, all right, AC. He said, you gonna be a leader tonight? And if that wasn't bad enough, baby, he got to Steve and he told Steve, he say, I see the ice and I see the cleavage. I see the ice and I see the cleavage, baby. Even Andy know that's one of the girls. See, I've been trying to tell y'all for a while that that's sis.
That's sis.
That's sis. That's sis. Shout out to Andy for knowing. The real girls know. Shout out to Andy. Salute. I've been trying to tell y'all, Andy said, baby, them titties, baby. Them titties, that's a girl. That's a girl right there, baby. I see you. Mimi probably can't see you, but I see you. And you live in ATL too? While we sitting up here talking about it, Mimi, are you on the prep? Okay. And then talking about, you see the ice. Nigga, what ice? That po ass necklace that nigga got on. That po ass necklace, that po ass bitch can't even afford no motherfucking piece for the chain. Bitch, please. Y'all gotta stop it. I see the ice. I didn't see no motherfucking ice. I ain't seen no motherfucking ice. Po ass nigga got a piece with no chain. Bitch, please. Who? What a piece at, my nigga? Ice my ass. Okay. Then so Andy says, I heard that was drama backstage. And so Curtis told a story again that Toya was on Watch What Happens Live and said that women have come to Toya and said that he had his hands on multiple women. And they showed Toya backstage saying, Toya told Jackie, I did not say that. She said, I think that he needs to keep his hands to himself because he's had his hand on multiple women, right? And so Jackie is trying to cherry pick. And so Jackie is trying to say on the show, bitch, you seen this nigga with his hands on these women. You know what I'm saying? Jackie, quit playing in my face. That's what I'm saying. These people like to play in your face, and I can't stand for nobody
playing in my mother face. I hate that.
I hate that shit. You know that this nigga had his hands on women on the show. Toya said show or not, but it was 2 women on the show and 3 off the show. Now, I initially thought that she meant her in Heavenly and then the woman in Hilton Head. And then she told Jackie, it's your fault because you said that he didn't do it. You said that he didn't do it and the bitch was sitting in the room. The bitch was sitting in the room with you. We were sitting in the room when he grabbed me. He grabbed me by my waist. And not only did he grab me by my waist and put me in his lap, he held me there. Not only did he grab me by my waist and put me in his lap, baby, he held me there. He wouldn't let me move while y'all saying, oh, she was there for a long time. She couldn't move. The nigga had his hands on her waist still. Shit. She got all the shit that Jackie does, including the kids. I don't care. I don't care. I don't care. Get off my girl. Get off my girl. Thanks for the super chat, Q, the content guy. He said, one thing the girls gonna do is clock each other. Andy said, the girls are out today. I see you. And what Stephanie do? Smile and say, yeah, take your prep. Oh, yes. Tell the truth. The truth. Thank you for the super chat. She said, Stevie liked that comment by Andy in his chest. He said, Andy, I've been working out. He didn't like the comment. He was upset that Andy said cleavage. He was upset that Andy said cleavage, and he tried to play it off and try to say, I've been at the gym. You ain't been at the gym, mama. You ain't been at the gym, mama. You ain't been at the gym. Because I ain't seen no motherfucking weight loss. What you doing at the gym is what the people want to know. You been at the gym?
I made the choice.
Sure. Okay. What else happened? Okay. So, I feel like that Jackie don't think that we stupid. I feel like Jackie don't think that we stupid because she's trying to act like we didn't see what we saw. And Curtis is saying that he isn't going to admit that he pulled Toya into his lap until Eugene admit that he perpetuated that lie. Toya never said that a woman came to her. So there's nothing for him to admit to. But the thing is, Bravo keeps showing exactly what Toya said. They showed exactly what Toya said. And Curtis, you know what? The beautiful thing about the cameras is that we can always rewind, right? The beautiful thing about the cameras is that we can always rewind. And what the cameras show, baby, is that...
You're lying. And you know what doesn't lie? The cameras.
What doesn't lie is the cameras. And I'm so glad that they caught it on camera because I know without a shadow of doubt that if the cameras wouldn't have caught it, you, Jackie, Miss Stevie, baby, and Heavenly would act like it never happened. Y'all would act like that he never pulled Toya on his lap. And I'm so glad that Bravo showed that beautiful beam footage every time y'all talk about it. Because y'all would literally sit up there and act like that it didn't happen. Y'all would have. Thank you for the super chat, YDKL0819. She said, why did Toya move her butt in front of another man and say she was going to test him? Did she move her butt in front of another? Bad bitch can't even walk down the aisle. Let me tell you something, YDKL. I wouldn't give a damn if Toya, I believe that a woman should be able to walk down the street with pasties on and a thumb. And a man shouldn't touch her. I believe that a woman should be able to walk down the street bucky naked and a man shouldn't put his motherfucking hands on her. He ought to have better control. He ought to have better control. What are we talking about? I believe that a woman should be able to walk down the street butt naked and a man shouldn't touch her. And I'm standing on that. It was to test him for me. Well, he failed. Mammies and pygmies are dangerous. I agree. Right. Okay. And another thing with you, Curtis, is that Curtis admitted backstage that he did grab Toya into his lap. Right? He did admit backstage that he grabbed her into his lap. So, that's the thing. And did you hear what Curtis is saying? Because this is what I'm saying. Everybody always calling Eugene a bitch because y'all don't like Toya. But Curtis said that the problem that he has with Eugene is that he doesn't take responsibility when it comes to his wife. So you have a problem with Eugene. That's what I'm saying. So the thing is, Curtis can have a problem with Eugene because of what Toya do. But if Eugene say anything, he a bitch. But the men ain't supposed to get into it. And this is not supposed to affect the men or spill into it with the men. That ain't nothing but manipulation. So Eugene can have a problem with Toya. And have a problem with Eugene based off of Toya. But everybody else is supposed to just be okay. Everybody else is just supposed to be okay with what Heavenly do on the show. Is it because Toya's not a doctor? See, it's rules for D and not for me. So Curtis can have beef. See, that's what I'm see. You see what I'm saying? And so, again, the husbands do get involved. They do get caught up, or however you want to frame it in what the wives do. But again, it's just it was a problem with Eugene. It's a problem with Dr. G. They bitches. But when Damon and Curtis speak up, they not no bitches.
Oh, okay, ho.
Okay, ho. Then they get to talking about the bumps with the wives, okay? Eugene. They talked about Eugene at the, what's the name of it? The skip workday party, okay? Andy said that Eugene got a side eye from the other men on how he and Toya went at each other. He said that it was called a married moment, and he asked Eugene, what does he mean? Eugene said that you will be lying if you've been with your spouse for a while and you have slip-ups and you said something that you didn't mean. We just happened to be on TV and there was a lot of people at our house. He said there was also people who were there who wouldn't have been invited if it wasn't an all-cast event, which is heavenly, right? And so Steve said, it sounded like a narrative spin to me. And so Eugene was like, look, Steve, you don't have to comment. And he said, I do have to comment because the blame was put on Mimi. No. The blame was not put on Mimi. Steve is just looking for a moment. And I told y'all episode 1, I seen that he and Mimi were positioning themselves to come and take shots. They were taking shots at Toya and Eugene. And if you didn't see it, I just feel like that you're just used to people playing in your face all the time. Toya and Eugene had a married moment, yes. But it wasn't because of Mimi and Heavenly, nor did they blame them for it. The moment was because Toya was trying to play a game with the men, and Eugene did not want to get out the pool and lead the men. The men was actually trying to get Eugene to go against his wife. Toya called Mimi and Heavenly some hater bitches later because they was laughing at her and talking shit about her once everything between Toya and Eugene blew up. That is what happened. And when they asked Toya about it backstage, Toya said, because y'all was talking shit. You're trying to center yourself in it. But no, she called them some hater bitches after her and Eugene already got into it. Because they was laughing after they got into it. Y'all was laughing about it. And she also, yeah, right, and she also called Brandy a hater bitch too. Yeah, Mimi gaslights for you. That's exactly what happened. You trying to make it seem like, baby, your wife ain't that your wife ain't that important, baby. She's not that important. You just trying to get you a moment on this show because you never had one on the field, baby. I see you. Okay? And Steve say, I see you. I see what you do. And I'm going to hold you accountable. You're Eugene Bush.
Loser!
I got secondhand embarrassment when he said that. I literally got secondhand embarrassment when he said that because he thought he ate and he didn't. And I feel like that he knew that when it left his lips, he did not eat. It did not eat the way that he thought that he ate. It didn't eat. He didn't hit the mark. It's the art to reading. You didn't do it, mama. You missed it. And the thing is, Steve, you get no points for going on Twitter, seeing what the people is saying and trying to run it back at the reunion. You get no points for that, baby. It was a flop. It was a flop. You flopped. Big L, thank you for the super chat. He said, I don't respect Eugene as a man. They don't respect Eugene as a man. That's why. It's a male hierarchy. However, Eugene's wife is better than all of theirs, and they are mad. Right. Kendra L say, nobody's making excuses for Curtis. We just staring at this point. Right, Johnny's Angel. Steve and his rehearsed reads was so cringe. It was so cringe. Exactly. Steve isn't very bright. Right. Steve does give queen energy. Oh, yes. You know, he give Big Mama. He give Big Mama thing. I got it going on. What? That's why he give Big Mama. Thank you for the super chat, cue the content guy. He give Lotto, baby. Yes. Thank you for the super chat, cue the content guy. He said the disrespect started when I was walking through the ATL airport with another woman. I see why him and Stephanie get along. Neither one of them want their wives. Thank you, Eugene, for being a real man. Thank you for being a real man. A soldier. Yes, baby. Wait till we get toward the end, baby. Because if you say something, you might want to leave now, baby. Okay? Eugene said, listen, you've been rude all day, Steve. I've been here for 12 years. You just got here. The energy is off. You're one of the new people, and I'm just putting it out there. The guys have never been this rude to each other. Curtis said, well, where did it start? It started at your house. No matter if he's been here for 2 years, 12 years, or 20 years, there's respect that goes on amongst the men. When was Eugene disrespectful to Curtis? When was Eugene disrespectful to Curtis? Toya never said that people came to her about Curtis putting his hands on women. Curtis is mad that his actions have him looking like a creep, and he wants to take it out on Eugene because he can't take it out on Toya. And he does not want to take accountability. And so Eugene says, Curtis, you have an issue with my wife? I get it. And he said, I have an issue with the truth. And Eugene told him, baby, you haven't been completely truthful today either. That's why Eugene, get them niggas up off you. Get them niggas up off you. You haven't been completely truthful today either. You haven't been completely truthful today either, okay? So then we get to talking to Damon about the arrest. Andy asked Damon, why didn't he tell Heavenly about Damon Jr.? Damon said, I'm a quiet guy. I don't feel the need to explain everything, but y'all don't know the whole story. He said that he handled it the best way that he could as a father. No doubt. But did you handle it the best way you could as a husband? Did you handle it the best way you could as a husband? Let me tell you something. There is no way you can make me believe that Damon didn't tell Heavenly that their son was arrested. When you are arrested, I have been arrested before. I ain't never been to prison. I've been to jail before. I've been arrested before. I've never been in jail for over 24 hours. Okay? When you are arrested, you now go into the system. Your personal info is recorded. You are fingerprinted. You take a mug shot, and you have to get bailed out if depends on what your time is. Right? The fact there is no way you can make me believe that this man was fingerprinted and had a mug shot, and he told his son that we're gonna hide this from your mama, your wife, who is a doctor. We're going to hide this from your mama, an educated Black woman who is a doctor. There is no way you can make me believe that he did not tell Heavenly that. We're not talking about a traffic ticket where you could just give your son the money and pay the ticket and everything is okay. He was arrested. People have literally died in police. Rest in peace, was Sandra Bland? People have literally died in police custody. And you mean to tell me that your son was arrested and you didn't tell your wife? I don't believe it. I believe that Heavenly thinks that we're so stupid. She thinks that the audience is so dumb that we would believe that her husband, that we did not know that her son was arrested, or she didn't know, that we would believe that. Heavenly, girl, the audience is not dumb. You got some people that believe that the girl put marks on your arm. It was cellulite. But girl, there's no way you can make me believe that your son was fingerprinted and took a mug shot and they wanted to keep it from you. There's no way. Okay? I don't believe the mental health narrative that they're trying to portray with their son. I think that people throw mental health on a situation so that they could be protected, but I'm not buying it. Thank you for the super chat, Dina. She said, if Damon had to leave the house in the middle of the night, you know, Heavenly said, Daddy, where the hell you going at this hour? I don't think that she said nothing. Thank you for the super chat, Dina. She didn't say nothing. She don't give me that she give me they got a don't ask, don't tell relationship. Well, Daddy get to get up and go and do whatever he wants to, and she's not going to question her. She's just so happy to say that she got her man. She's just so happy to say that she got her man. Okay? But I don't believe the mental health narrative, okay? I do believe that Damon loved his son, though. But what I think happened, I think that Heavenly is verbally abusive. I think that Heavenly said something to their son, just like she told Simone earlier in the season. And I think that whatever she said to their son, Damon had to choose between Heavenly and his son. And of course, he chose his wife. But that doesn't mean that he didn't read Heavenly the Riot Act, right? He's not going to get a divorce from his wife based off of what she said to their son, right? Growing up, my dad was a great provider. There is not anything that we wanted for. But under that came a lot of verbal abuse, a lot of belittling, a lot of disrespect. But he was there, right? he was there. There wasn't a football game or a basketball game or a track meet that I had that my daddy was not at, but he was very abusive verbally, right? Not physically. We didn't get, well, my mama whooped us. My dad never whooped us, but he was very verbally abusive. And I think that in his head, he thought that he could do and say whatever because we needed him. But it comes to a point to where you don't give a damn if you're homeless. You don't give a damn if you have to go out there and work. You know, it becomes a point to where you feel like, I will never let anyone talk to me like that again. I will never let anyone treat me like that again. And that's what I think happened with Heavenly Son. That is what I think happened with Heavenly Son. Okay? He said there's no communication with his son and that he doesn't see him, but he wants his son to know that he's always there for him if he needs him. Okay? Now in Jamaica, Andy said that he shut down the conversation when he thought that it was coming to. He shut down the conversation when he thought it was about to be about his son. And Andy asked what's his name? Andy asked Damon, did he think that people in the group say stupid stuff, especially the ladies? No, Andy asked him if he felt like there was a lot of personal issues get weaponized in the group, and he said, yeah. And I know that Andy was getting ready to tell him, do you feel like heavily weaponized issues here, personal issues here? But Damon took the baton and run because he knew what was coming after that. Because Andy damn sure was getting ready to say it. Okay? Damon said that he's surprised by the show because he has been accused of doing things that he's not doing, and people have made up lies about him. And so Simone backstage is saying, tell your fucking wife not to do it to us. Simone, to me, no matter what you do to me, I'm not going to lie on somebody, right? So my thing is, we know Heavenly lies, but I'm not going to compromise myself or my morals and lie on someone just to spar with Heavenly. I can hit Heavenly back with her real truth, right? I'm not going to lie on Damon or just lie to be lying to get into it with Heavenly. You know what I'm saying? To me, that's whack. Like the whole thing with Portia and Candy, and he was Marvin and all this other type of stuff. To me, that's whack. I'm not going to lie on nobody, but I will defend myself, but I'm not going to lie on nobody. So to me, I felt like Simone was basically saying, yeah, I'll be lying because Heavenly be lying. And I would never do that. But for the record, I do believe that Damon has cheated on Heavenly before. I do believe that. Okay. Scott said, and Scott was very demure. Scott was very, delicate. Not in the punk puss type of way like Steve, but very weak. Don't jump on me. But he said, Damon, you do have to realize that your wife, she will say anything about anybody, even if it's a rumor. She has said some untruths too. And a lot of times it can be retaliation. But your wife has said something about everybody sitting up. It was very, very punk puss. Nigga, stand up. Stand up. What Tasha K say? Claim your dick. And so, Damon said, for the people I feel accountable for, I apologize. But she's the person that she is, and she's going to say the things that she's going to say. But I haven't done it. I've never disrespected nobody. So really, the truth is, whoever's saying anything about me, it shouldn't have been said because I ain't never did nothing to nobody. So why y'all saying stuff about me?
Nigga, please.
Negro, please. Damon wants Heavenly to do and say whatever she wants to say, but nobody's supposed to say anything about him.
No, fuck that.
Fuck that. We're talking about it. We're talking about it. I would have showed up this season with a shirt on that say Free Junior and what did it say? Free Junior until it's backwards. And the nigga already out of jail, but I still would have with my motherfucking shirt on camera. I still would have with my shirt on camera. Okay? And so Cecil is saying none of the men have said anything to the wives, and that's the issue. It's the women that we allow to spill into our stuff. And so again, it seems like certain men allow it to spill over. But Eugene is the only one that's called the bitch, not Curtis or Damon. Not Curtis or Damon. Damon tried to check Dr. G over some shit that Sweet Tea said, trying to fight the man backstage, right? So it does carry over. But when Eugene goes and says anything, he's a bitch. When he wanted to go and talk to Damon one-on-one, he's a bitch, and I don't want no drama. But the way you pulled up on Dr. G was very aggressive. Very aggressive. Curtis still sitting over here mad at the world because he can't keep his motherfucking hands to himself. Shit. You mad at everybody because Jackie over there ain't nothing but skin and bones. Get the bitch a bottle of insurance. Shit, maybe you'll have something to grab on. Get her some insurance. Every time we see Jackie, all she eating is asparagus and broccoli. She don't never put a piece of meat on her plate. And she could be vegan. She could be vegan, but she barely eat. Shit. All of the men are saying that they have been hurt by the things that the women have said. Baby, Steve ain't been here long enough. Steve ain't been here long enough. Steve, what have you been hurt from by the women said about you? What have you been hurt for? What have you been hurt by? Ain't nobody even saying nothing about you. You just want to fit in, child. Okay? So Damon is saying, that you saw Jackie eating turkey sausage once? How long ago was it? Was it after they was over there in Hilton Head? When Curtis was over there with the girl in Hilton Head? Okay. Damon said that he's not making the assumption that the men haven't spoken to their wives. I don't believe that Damon has spoken to Heaven. I do not. Let me tell you something. A woman like Heavenly could get a man killed on the street. Heavenly in her mouth can get a nigga killed on the street. And so I don't believe that he spoke to her. Because if he would have spoke to her and told her that her mouth is bringing a lot of heat to their household, she would stop. Damon was just scared that the chickens was going to come home to roost this season. He was scared that the chickens was going to come home to roost this season, and he thought that the people were going to, and Heavenly thought that they was going to really go there with their son. And I think that it is honorable of the women that the women didn't do that this season. What's good, Jamie? Yep, you're right. He thought that the chickens was going to come home to roost this season, and I think that it was honorable that the women didn't go there because Heavenly, they gave Heavenly and her family grace. Because they could have dragged them to the ground this season. Because Heavenly has not gave the other women on the show grace. She always talk about everything they do. But I would have been talking about Damon Jr. I wouldn't give a damn what y'all say. I would have been talking about it. Chantel, thank you for the super chat. She says some people can treat Eugene poorly because of what Toya says, but no one can say anything to Damon when Heavenly acts a fool. Make it make sense. That's the truth. That's what I'm saying. That's the truth. Thank you for the super chat, Chantel. I appreciate it. Okay? Then we get to Steve. Steve says, what Damon did was take accountability like a real man. And I find it so funny that a man like Steve, who shows up the way that he does all of a sudden, is now talking about real men this and real man that. Real men address who the fuck they talking to. They don't beat around the bush. Because he was talking to Eugene when he said it. And so Eugene started speaking, and Steve said, well, the hit dog will holler, but I know you talking to me. I know you talking to me, but I know you ain't got enough puss to say to say my name when you speak.
But right now, we could
pussy. You ain't got enough balls to say my name when you speaking to me. Okay? And so Andy said, well, who were you talking to? And he said it's very loud and clear, bitch. You still can't even say the nigga name. You still can't even say the nigga name.
But right now, we could.
You pussy. Andy asking you who you talking to, you don't want to, it's very loud and clear. And you guys be aggressive. What Kelly say? I'm aggressive. I've never seen you get aggressive. Be aggressive and say my name when you're speaking to me. And so Andy said, who you talking to? And Eugene say, Mr. Bush, I suppose.
The weight of the 8 citation.
Right? Because you thought that you ate with the Miss Bush, with the, what did he say? You're Eugene Bush. You thought that you ate with that, but he took your jab and used it himself. So you didn't really eat with it. You didn't really hurt his feelings with it. And you can look at Steve's face and you can see defeat. It didn't work out the way that he thought it would. It didn't work out the way that you thought it would because you're not a good actor. You're just pretending to be upset and you're pretending to have an issue because you want a moment. You are not this upset with Eugene now. You're not, okay? So then the couples comes out. Then they asked about what was the wife duties versus the girlfriend's duties. Curtis said sex was a wife duty that he required from Jackie that he required as a girlfriend. But weren't you in Hilton Head having sex with the girl with?
Got it. Okay.
I don't share nothing.
We're in Hilton Head having sex with the girl that she was walking through the airport with, and she didn't even have to be a wife. Okay, that doesn't even make sense, Curtis. And so the women started talking about Jackie and Curtis's sex life, and I think that when you're very handsy like Curtis, and you have like a reputation that precedes you of being a creep, you have to be careful what you do and what you say, because he said that they have a goal. And when he said they have a goal, he waved his hand over Quad. And I thought that he was trying to say that they were trying to get Quad into the bed with them. But he said that they're trying to do it 15 times a week. They're trying to get it in 15 times a week. I'm so disgusted. I'm so disgusted. I'm disgusted. Okay? So then they talk about the highs and the lows. And so Andy says, research shows that couples with special needs children have high divorce rates. And what do they do, Mimi and Steve, to protect their marriage? And so Mimi said, we have check-ins. We intentionally date. I make sure that his love language hasn't changed. And I wonder how I can serve him, right? And I think that's the issue that Mimi has with Toya. And I think that's a lot of the issues that the women have with Toya, because she doesn't serve Eugene. Or at least the way they think that she ought to serve him, right? And so they went on to say that they don't always feel like they're doing a great job. They feel like they fall short constantly, and they have to constantly remind each other that they're doing a great job. But are y'all really being real with each other when you say that the other person is doing a great job, or are you just saying that to babysit their ego or their feelings? Are you being real with her and telling it? Or are you just telling her she's doing a great job because that's a nice thing to say? But do you really feel like that she's doing a great job? That's what I'm trying to ask. Because we can be honest about it, right? And so Consensus asks, was it hard to share y'all's story? And Mimi say, yeah, it was hard to tell the story, baby. I tear up every time we see it, girl. We know. We know, girl. You, baby, when I tell you, you cry every time we see you, you crying about it. You cry about it. So we know. She says she goes to therapy every 2 weeks to be preventative, because this is a battle that she will continue to face her entire life. A battle? Really? A battle? The word choices that Mimi used to describe this child, I'm really concerned. I'm really concerned. And it just proves to me, when she said battle, baby, Toya was talking to her when she said, my husband, they never said that he don't trust me around our son.
I don't give a fuck what y'all saying. I don't give a fuck what y'all saying at all.
It was, yes. Toya was talking about Mimi when she said, my husband, they never said he don't trust me around our son. She was definitely talking to Mimi. She was definitely talking for Mimi to say that. Girl, you mean a battle? The word choices that she's using, girl, I'm just worried. She might need to go once a week to therapy once a week. I don't know. Okay. Simone, they get talking about to Simone. She said there's a slight misconception about what's going on in her household. She said that she's not paying any of Cecil's bills. Cecil has 2 jobs. She said they split the household bills. But my thing, Simone, is you can say all of that, but I have a question. Are y'all splitting all the bills when it comes to the boys? Are y'all splitting all the bills when it comes to the boys? Did Cecil give you $30K for his share of Miles' credit card bill? Did Cecil go half with you on Michael's Tesla? Did he? Because this is the thing. Nobody thinks that Cecil is bringing in nothing, right? But is he bringing in enough to really have a say-so, right? And the answer is no. Hence why Michael said, I have a mama that makes pretty good money. He went to his mama to buy him a car. He said, my mama does good. He didn't say my daddy do shit. He didn't say my daddy did shit. The last thing we know that the daddy stole, the daddy stole $20,000 out of her account. He would have been sitting in jail. He would have been sitting in jail. We would have got separate accounts that day. Okay? She said that she hasn't cut the boys off, but she's making gradual steps to cut the boys off. And I think that that's smart. I don't think that you should do anything cold turkey when it comes to your children financially. You have to make steps, right? Don't just be like, I'm not spending no money for you no more, whatever. You know what I'm saying? If it was 60,000, I just can't understand those 60,000 though. Yeah, 60,000, 60,000. That nigga was living it up. 60,000, and she already is paying your rent, and your car is paid for. What were you buying with $60,000 a month? I mean, $60,000 in a year. That's crazy. Okay. She said that she needs Cecil to have her back instead of throwing her under the bus. Okay. Then we get to Curtis. Andy said that Curtis sparked backlash when he told King that their fertility issues were because they were out of order. Curtis apologized. He said that he didn't understand the magnitude. I'm not buying it. I'm not buying it because he stood in it after he said it. Okay. You are married to Jackie, who is an OBGYN, and she has been an OBGYN for over 30 years now. Okay. And being married to someone who has been in their profession for so long, you kind of pick up what they do, right? So I'm sure he knows more about women's reproductive health and pregnancy and childbirth. He probably knows more than more people. He knows more definitely than most men, and probably, I would say, the average woman, right? And he also knew that they was traveling to Ghana. I just think that him and Jackie are always standing in judgment of somebody, and I think that they are some nasty bitches.
A nasty, nasty bitch.
I really do. I think that they are just nasty, and they like to stand in judgment of other people. And I wish that Quad would have ate Curtis alive. I think that the only reason why Jackie is apologetic is because she was Quad's doctor, and because she already received backlash from when she was saying down to the YouTube with Heavenly. That's the only reason why she's apologetic. But other than that, she would not care. She probably would tell us that, Curtis didn't say that, and look us dead in our face and tell us, well, Curtis didn't say that. Curtis didn't say that. I don't believe Curtis said that. He didn't. She probably would tell us that. But the only reason why she apologized is because because she's Quad doctor, and because she already got called out by her bullshit before. Okay. And so Heavenly is saying that's how you take accountability when you do something wrong. Are you going to take accountability, Heavenly, about lying and saying that Simone pushed you? When are you going to take accountability for that? Because you never apologized about that at all. You moved straight on from that into saying that, well, she was yelling at me. No, baby. But you said that she pushed you. Okay? So then, we got a lot more to go. And I'm already an hour and 10 minutes. Okay? So we get to the Med Gala. Okay? Andy said that he was curious why Steve thought that Eugene making him pay to get in wasn't fair. It's a charity and everyone is just giving money to go into the same pot. Steve says that it was strategic and targeted. Yes, it was strategic and targeted for y'all. I keep saying that Steve and Mimi have been coming for Toya and Eugene all season. They said that they were out. They did not want to contribute to the event because they wanted Toya and Eugene to fail. That's why we're here having an argument over a $300 ticket. Okay? Steve says that Toya and Eugene didn't give money last year, and they want to hide behind not giving money the year before. They wanted to hide behind some wine. And again, Steve is reading social media. Toya said that they gave money to Jackie, and Jackie is shaking her head. Yeah. Steve really needs to
read the room and know your place.
Read the room and know your place. Y'all get the people on that's the shit that Garcelle did. They get so caught up believing the Twitter hype, right? Mimi could have easily asked Jackie, did Toya and Eugene donate before you came out saying some shit that you don't know about? And my thing with Steve is you wasn't even there for the first Med Gala. So you shouldn't even be speaking on it. And what that tells me is that Heavenly is a liar, and all the lies that Heavenly goes down to YouTube and tell, she lies so much that the women on the show don't even feel the need to dispel the rumors anymore. Because people are going to believe what they want to believe because Heavenly is, you know what I'm saying? They just want to, like Charlamagne say, who wants to believe the truth when the lie is more entertaining, right? Steve said that they give him more in 1 year than they gave in 3. Because yes, you gave more in 1 year than they gave in 3 because, well, people would assume that, right? You gave $5,000 in 1 year because you was brown nosing your way into the group and you was trying to buy your way into the group. But I'm sure that $5,000 could have been useful for something like speech classes or potty training. I mean, something. I'm pretty sure that you could have used the $5,000 for something more useful than a bowl that Quad blew in. I'm just saying. You know, I don't know. I'm just saying that I'm pretty sure it could have helped with some potty training. I don't know. Because the diaper is crazy. Like we seeing, okay? They said that they were strategically targeted at the door, but it wasn't strategic, baby. You was buying you didn't buy a ticket. You didn't buy a ticket. And what I have noticed, because everybody is saying, well, they gave $5,000, they got money. Why would y'all not let them in? Why would y'all not let them in? What I have, in my life experiences, I have seen that people will allow people to mistreat them just because they have money or because they think that they have money. That is why Cassie stayed over there with Diddy for as long as she did, because he had money. People will allow people with money. I remember Trick Daddy was on the Breakfast Club and he was saying that girls will go out there and fuck with niggas who are millionaires and will go and fuck them for free and go fuck with broke niggas and make them think they gotta pay. People will allow people to mistreat them because they think that they have money. But if you told me that you were out and if you told me that you were out in Jamaica, you're not getting into my event without buying a ticket. I don't give a fuck what they did at the last Med Gala. I wasn't hosting the Med Gala those years. So I don't give a damn what they did at the last Med Gala. With the one that I'm hosting, you buying a ticket to get in this motherfucker. And you're gonna need a ticket to get in. Okay? And so Steve is saying Eugene can hold the fellas to a standard that you can't hold yourself to. You want Damon to apologize for Heavenly. He never asked Damon to apologize for Heavenly. And if he did, that has nothing to do with you. If he did, that has nothing to do with you. You want to make your mark by taking on Damon and Curtis's beef with Eugene, but Eugene ain't really did nothing to you. And so Simone said, I understand your perspective, but if someone is holding a gathering, they have the right to turn you away. We've seen it numerous times, and Steve is saying, no, bitch, you just got here. That has happened. And one thing that popped to mind with me is Quad. I remember Quad had an event, and she turned Mariah away. The creator of the show, Quad turned Mariah away, and she even left $20 for her troubles at the door. Put a 9 in the chat if you remember. See, the people down on Twitter didn't tell you that, baby. But yes, Quad stopped Mariah, the creator of the show, from getting into her event and left her $20 for gas money at the front door with the security for her troubles. That happened, baby. You could be turned away from an event. You could be turned away from, was it $20 or $40? I think it was 20. Thank you for the super chat, Ali. She said, hey, Gabor, Mimi and Steve are opportunists. They threw their friend Sweet Tea under the bus to get in with Heavily, and now they are her attack dogs. The fans gassing them up will turn on them next season. Yes, they will. Yes, they will. Thank you for the super chat, Ali. I appreciate it. I see the play. And gave her gas money. Yeah, that was for her troubles. $20, $50. She gave us some money for the troubles. She gave her the money for the troubles. I loved it. So it has happened. You can be turned away from somebody's event. You sitting up here saying, no, you want to go in and disrespect. Okay? Mimi said, if you sensitive, leave. Because we got to talk about it because they said it. Mimi said that it was something about it's something about her presence that irritates any type of security that they may have.
Bitch, you better be joking.
Bitch, you better be joking, Mimi. Mimi, did you really say that? You better be joking. When I hear people say stuff like that somebody is insecure when they see them or a person is jealous of them, all I actually think is childish, especially with adults. Every time I see Mimi, she's crying. She's overwhelmed. She's working. She don't even want to go home. Her husband don't trust her around their son. She don't even want to cook for them. She don't even want to cook for them. Toya is insecure about what? Toya is insecure about what? Toya has 2 brilliant boys that are smart. They making 3.5 and 4.0 GPAs. They hitting out of their milestones. They could get up and go in the kitchen and make them something to eat. What is she jealous of you for, Mimi? What is she jealous of you for? Girl, are you serious? You can't be real. You can't be serious. Y'all here in NFL and think that they're living the lifestyle of the rich and famous. He was a practice player. And Mimi is clearly overwhelmed. And she's overwhelmed. And the crazy part about it, she still got to get her ass up and go to work. She still got to get her ass up and go to work even when she's overwhelmed. If Toya's overwhelmed, baby, she could just go lay down at the pool. You still got to go up and go to work. And another thing, too, if Steve was really that girl in the NFL, no matter what Mimi did this season, she would be sitting in quad seat, right? Because his reputation would have preceded him. But she's sitting at the end of the couch just like Jazzy. You sitting at the end of the couch just like Jazzy. Baby, nobody is jealous or insecure about what y'all got going on. Nobody. Thank you for the super chat, Not Your Twins, Mama. She said, Toya and Eugene donated after last year's gala. Jackie nodded in confirmation. Steve and Mimi are drinking the Lulu lemonade. Bye. Thank you for the super chat, Not Your Twins, Mama. I appreciate it. This girl over here changing pants was talking about somebody girl. Okay. Toya said that we had an event for the last 3 years. The first year, Jackie didn't share any details of the event. She asked for money only. Jackie shook her head. The second year, she said Jackie didn't share any details of the event. She asked for money only. Jackie shook her head again. She said the third year, I did the exact same thing as Jackie. And it's a problem because I did. Even with the planning this year, everything is about what Toya did wrong. It's nothing about Jackie. It's nothing about Jackie, and Jackie is also in charge of the event, but nobody's upset with Jackie. Everything is on Toya. Even the leadership. If Jackie is the head of the Med Gala for 3 years, she would be the leader. The leadership would fall down to Jackie. But nobody got no heat for Jackie. Okay? Contessa said that, well, I missed the part. Contessa said, she jumped in and said that Eugene shouldn't have been involved, and it turned into the Toya and Eugene show. Of course, Contessa feels like Eugene shouldn't have helped Toya with the Med Gala because she doesn't know what support from a husband looks like.
I can say so much about your husband.
And Contessa, you really need to go see a therapist. I would say Mimi, but you need a good therapist. You really need to go. You always have this jealous rage in you anytime somebody is receiving support from their husband. You did it with Brandy when her husband sent y'all to dinner for her birthday, right? You was upset at that, and now you upset with Toya because her husband helped her with the Med Gala. You're upset that her husband helped her with the Med Gala. When you get married to somebody, y'all are one. Why would you be upset that her husband was there supporting his wife at something that she was throwing? That sounds so fucking stupid, Contessa. Why would you be so upset that her husband? Why didn't Shamar come out on stage? I have no idea. Okay? Eugene said the only reason why he got involved because there was a deadline, and Toya said that she was going to look like a fool if they didn't get this done, and nobody was helping her. Okay? And I'm sorry, I don't give a fuck if Elon Musk came in. After I expressed in Jamaica that it was told that my wife, that the women wanted my wife to fail. And someone told me that they were out. The people who have been coming for me all season told me that they were out. When you come to my event, you're going to buy a ticket. And I'm not allowing Mimi and Steve to show up to the event and try to show me up because we think that they got money. I'm not letting nobody do that. Okay? And I don't know if y'all caught this, but I told y'all that it was going to happen. I told y'all. Toya said at the reunion that Steve and Mimi still didn't pay. And so they didn't even pay the $300.
Don't you guys? I said it.
I said it. They wanted to be able to come in and show them up. So my thing is, what are we even having an argument for? Y'all, Eugene, Steve got so much money, he could have. Steve said, well, do you want me to pay the $300 or do you want me to donate to the charity or donate it to the scholarship fund? He didn't do either. They didn't do either. Toya said it at the reunion. Till this day, they still haven't paid. They didn't pay the $300 and they didn't pay the $1,000. They still came into the event. They still came in there and ate. I don't think that they got it like that. They gave that $5,000. They keep whining about the $5,000. I don't think they got it like that. Toya said that they still have not paid to this day. And I'm shocked with you, Toya, that you let them in there to do that. That you let them in. Because that's what they plan on doing all along. They wanted to come in. They wanted to see you fail. They wanted to see you fail. And that y'all let them come in without paying. And so it gave me that y'all can be bought. And I love you and Eugene, but it gave me that y'all can be bought. I wouldn't give a damn. If you want to donate to it's not going to benefit me if you give these children a scholarship or not, right? But if you want to give the $300, you got to pay the $300 to get in here. You got to pay the $300 to get in here. So it is what it is. Okay? Andy asked why it's hard for the group. What is so hard about the Med Gala? Jackie said it's hard for the group to come together because of how it started, and it started with 2 people. But Jackie, also, you need to take accountability for being a nasty bitch and not including the whole team. Y'all like to have a hierarchy in the group where the OGs and then Heavenly and who's been there the longest and you know what I'm saying, and stuff like that. If this is going to be an event that we're going to have every year, then the whole cast of the show should be included in it. This needs to be an event for married to medicine women. Season 6 of Married to Medicine, season 9 of Married to Medicine, season 10 of Married to Medicine, season 13 of Married to Medicine. Every woman on the cast should be included into it. But y'all like to hold rank over other people. Just like you did with your scrub line. You didn't invite the other girls. You didn't even invite Mimi. Mimi was not there. You invited the OGs. You don't see Mimi as a wife. You don't see Mimi as that. Because Heavenly and Contessa are not OGs, but you invited them to the photo shoot to put on the scrubs. But you didn't invite Mimi. But Steve not upset at that. Steve not upset at that. And if I'm not mistaken, that was where y'all had a conversation about the Med Gala. So no. Okay? Jackie said that that they ended up submitting a 501c3, I believe is what it's called. And so it's a real organization. And Toya ended up coming up with that idea. And Andy said that, let us know what you got going on next year for the Med Gala because I want to donate. Okay? And so that's nice that Andy want to donate. Okay? So then they get backstage. And Steve comes in from the stage, backstage, coming for Eugene again.
Somebody get this bitch off me.
Somebody get this bitch off me. Get this bitch off me. So he said it's not personal. But it is. It is. The footage shows it. Then he says that Eugene has a personal vendetta against him, and he let it go. And he said that Toya has mentioned me taking off my shirt. Toya has mentioned that I'm attractive, and they rolled that beautiful bean footage. And the reach that Steve did was literally embarrassing. It was literally embarrassing. Okay? So what they did was last year when they was on vacation, I forget where they was on vacation at, King had his shirt open. And Toya was basically saying that King and Steve are the only men in the group that can wear their shirt open because they don't have dad bods. But she never said anything about Steve being attractive. He's not attractive to me. She never said anything about him being attractive. And he's trying to flip it. And you can tell that it was a desperate attempt for him to try to kiss up to Jackie and Curtis by trying to make Toya look like a predator like Curtis is, or the predator that Curtis is, right? And the difference is she never said that she was attractive, and she never said anything inappropriate towards you, and she never touched you. Most importantly, she never touched you.
Loser.
Loser. She never touched you. So I don't know where I'm just really confused. And you really thought that you ate. You really thought that you ate. He said that he knows that it makes Eugene feels insecure. It makes you feel less than. And you single me out because of it. Baby, for a nigga to say some shit like that, you have to be coming in motherfucking Idris Elba, Marcus Jordan. Who else? Name somebody. You have to, for you to be saying that my presence makes you insecure, you got to really be coming with it. You got to really be coming with it. Nigga, you, Negro, please. Raphael Warnock, right? You got to really be coming with it. You got to be Marcus Jordan type fine to just be saying some shit like that. Thank you for the super chat, the Truth 5717. She said every time a new person comes on the show, they come after Toya. Contessa did it, Audra did it, and now Mimi. Toya is their ticket to get on the show, and they do it because she's not a doctor and she's low-hanging fruit. That is a 100% correct, the Truth 5717. That is 100% correct. And I would have, my thing is, you don't have to come on the show coming after anybody. You should just come on the show and just join the group and just call shit how you see it. Right? And call shit how you see it, but to just be coming at Toya and Mimi is crazy. Todd Lepley, I mean, I could understand it, but I don't really, not me. Yeah, Marcus Jordan, Morris Chestnut, in the wood. I mean, not the wood, in the best man, yeah. That boxer, what is his name? Anthony Joshua, yeah, Anthony Joshua. Like, you know, you gotta be something like that. You gotta be Anthony Joshua or somebody like that to be coming in saying that, you know, my presence make you insecure and you feel a little, you know what I'm saying? I don't know. Okay. So he kept going on. And so Eugene said, you know, you sound like your son, you sound like you having a temper tantrum. So Eugene was like, I'm not gonna sit up here while you having this temper tantrum, you know what I'm saying? I'm going to leave. And so Eugene, I will say this, Eugene, you shouldn't have left. You shouldn't have left, Eugene, because it made it seem like you was running. It made it seem like you was running, and I gotta be honest with you. It seemed like you, Aaron Pierre. I respect it though, but You know, it made it seem like that you was running, Eugene, and I don't like that. Because I would have been in there arguing. Me and Eugene would have been. Me and Steve would have been in there arguing all day before I left the room. Eugene, you shouldn't have left. You was already eating them and packing them up. He was making himself look stupid. Take her down. Take her down. Take her down. But you're a doctor and I'm not. You're a doctor and I'm out. I'm not. And you got a code of ethics. You know what I'm saying? Because they want to see you in a poor house. Michael B. Jordan. Michael B. I think you think Eugene won? Did you see one of Giselle's daughters recreated her AKA picture from when she was first pledged? No, I didn't. Send it to me. He was protecting his career. Yeah, Eugene said, I'm gonna give you this right here. Pass on Michael B. Right, pass on Michael B. Pass on Michael B. You know, Idris Elba, Marcus Jordan, most importantly, Marcus Jordan, Idris Elba, maybe. Maine from P Valley, the dude who played Maine from P Valley, him. You just gotta really be it to be. You know, I don't know. Okay. And so then we end everything, right? Toya said, you know, one thing about me is I'm gonna fight for the truth. I will apologize. It may hurt me to do so, but I don't hold grudges, and I get upset, but I don't hold grudges. Okay. They asked, well, Heavenly will be there next year, baby. I don't think the Heavenly gonna win. I don't. That don't make me anti-black. That don't mean that I hate black women. I don't think the Heavenly's gonna win. I don't. Okay. Then they talked to Simone. Simone said, you know, to Heavenly, to have someone on social media dragging the fact that we have real moments on the show. Heavenly said, I'm sorry that you put your business on the show that I would never do. And I think that is the reason why Heavenly was demoted. I really believe that's the reason why Heavenly was demoted. I don't think that she wanted her truth out there about her son being arrested, and her ego was so big that she just couldn't accept that she was demoted. So she had to go and run for office, to run for Congress. So we wouldn't know that she got demoted. That's what I believe. I do believe that. Okay. Andy told Quad, he said, you know, for years it seemed like that you was an outsider, and it warms my heart to see that you're here and it feels like you want to be here. And she said, I stand with each and every last woman on this stage. Jackie. I stand with each and every last woman on this stage. Ain't nobody better play with us. But she told Giselle, yes, baby, the numbers, Nobody better play with us. That including you, Giselle. The numbers. Now, did y'all notice that Andy didn't ask Mimi a motherfucking thing? Andy didn't ask Mimi nothing. Mimi, Angel, and Brandy, he didn't ask them nothing. Okay? And so Andy ended up asking Toya to give the toast. Queen shit. Salute. Okay? And Toya said, that's easy for me to give the toast. You know what I'm saying? I don't mind giving the toast. As long as Mimi don't count my drinks. As long as Mimi don't count my drink. And Mimi gonna say, well, we good because we doing champagne. And the toast was, these ladies are inspirational. And as we go into season 13, I don't want y'all to forget that. And that really was the episode. That was the episode and the season. I do think that the reunion was really, really good. The season, I'm not going to say it was lackluster. The season was okay. The season was okay. If I had to rate the season, I'll give it like a 7.5, 8. But the reunion, I have to get a reunion a 9.5. The reunion was good. They did good with the reunion. Nothing seemed filler. If anything, they could have added more to it. And I think that going forward, we should just have 2 parts of a reunion. It was a great reunion. Okay? But y'all, that was it. That was it. Let me read some comments before we go real quick. Madison brought it this reunion. They did. The reunion was good, better than what's happening on Real House of Potomac and Beverly Hills. Queen Simone and Toya. Right, Queen shit. The medical segment was filler. You think so? I loved it. I wish that could have been a little bit longer. 7.5 out of 10. Reunion 8.5 out of 10. Okay. Heavenly forgets Andy's name, and he was mad. I'm pretty sure it's Heavenly last season. Amen. She didn't, because she was lying. Reunions need to always be 2 parts. Toya and Eugene were the stars. Of course they were. Personally, I can't stand Quad. She's fake as hell. I love the Tennessee accent. Unless there was an RHOA season type deal, there's no need for a 3-part reunion. Don't care about the franchise. But I want the girls to go. I want the girls to go other places. Buy big help. Listen, Alexis. I want her. I don't want her to win, but I want her to go get the curtains. I don't want her back on the show. I don't want her back on the show. Time for Heaven to go. Yeah, she killing the show. Everything that she was saying was just lackluster and whack. Wiggity, 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 whack. Okay? Andy did better with this reunion. He asked the right questions at the right times. Yes, he did. Yes, he did. He did ask the right. It seemed like Desiree, what it was, it seemed like that he was actually interested in the season of Married to Medicine. He actually knew what was going on. And actually cared about it. I feel like a lot of times Andy just be, yeah, whatever. But this time I feel like that he actually cared about what was going on. Okay? But y'all, thank y'all so much for clicking, for being here. I really appreciate the love and support. I'm so happy that we got out of, I'm so happy that next week I will be able to join you guys at the Real Housewives of Atlanta. Okay? Hopefully it's good. Hopefully it's good. I've seen that they got some sneak peeks already. I don't want to watch the sneak peeks yet. I miss watching the show and being excited to be surprised. You know what I'm saying? It's his job to watch. It's his job to watch, but if the show is boring, CW, are you really into it? 2-part reunion should be the standard. 3-part is seen so necessary. They even gave us 4. They even gave us 4 one time, season 9. I know Pinky gonna get on my nerves. Yeah. I know Kelly gonna get on my nerves. But they say she'll friend us, so hopefully we don't see a lot of her. All right. But thank y'all so much for being here, y'all. I really appreciate the love and support, and I will see y'all tomorrow. Adios.
Call Daddy, tell him 25 got it. Call Daddy, tell him 25 got it. Call Daddy, tell him 25 got it.